What's up, everyone? This is Bamblakopz from GameGuideCentral.com. This is our Portal 2 guide, and this is Chapter 2, The Cold Boot. Before the actual chapter gets going, after GLaDOS drops us down into this dark hole, the dark cavern, before the actual chapter and the actual challenges get started, we have to navigate through this hallway, through this cavern-type area, which really isn't that difficult. It's pretty linear, so you probably won't get lost or anything. However, there are a couple spots where you might get frozen for a few seconds, trying to figure out where you want to shoot the portal gun. And right here, coming up in a few seconds, is the first time we get the dual portal device, as GLaDOS calls it, which has the orange and the blue portal. So that's very nice. We get to use it for the first time. So the first thing we want to do is pop an orange one up there and then a blue one down next to us, or vice versa. Obviously, the colors don't really matter. And again, like I said, it's not too difficult through this area, but it might take a few seconds every once in a while to realize where you can shoot your actual shot with the portal gun. Then up there, you shoot this platform right here, and then walk through another one that's right next to you. And just keep on traversing through this. You shouldn't have any trouble with it. It's pretty simple. It's fairly simple, but it is fun to listen to the whole discussion with GLaDOS during this time, because she says some pretty funny things. Then lastly, this is the very end of it, towards this area. Right here, it almost looks like glass, but you can actually shoot through it. It took me a few seconds to realize that. And then we're going to traverse back behind this area once we go through it. And then the real challenges will get started once we walk through this doorway here, after GLaDOS moves all the clutter out of our way. We'll move through this doorway, and then we'll go into an elevator. And then after we come out of the elevator, that will finally be the first challenge of this chapter. This chapter has 8 challenges. Sometimes they vary how many challenges are in each chapter. This one has 8. I think the next one has a very similar amount. Sometimes they're more, sometimes they're less. And now, Chapter 2, The Cold Boot, actually starts officially with the first challenge, which you can see right on the wall right here. So here we are starting it off. This is the first one that we're going to be using lasers. Lasers is a big theme for this chapter. Lasers and launchers are going to be the main things we use. So as you can see, the laser points right down to that spot. What we need to do is redirect it into that little target that I'm standing on top of right now. To do that, we're going to have to be standing on top of this platform here, because once we do activate it, it'll actually move the platform up so we can get up there. So first we shoot a shot underneath the laser, then we shoot another one right where that red dot is, and then it should land right on top of that target, and we're good to go. And also we should get this achievement pop right here, Undiscouraged, which is the first time you beat a level with lasers in it, which is obviously that one right there. You can't get that achievement anywhere else. That's the only spot to get it. Look through this window here. We'll be able to see our little buddy Weasley, the robotic friend. Or is he our friend? He pops in and then pops out right away because he hears GLaDOS and runs for his life. So what we're going to do is pop a shot right underneath that cube. This is a redirectional cube. This is the first time we're going to be using this type of cube. This allows us to shoot the laser in any direction that we want. Redirect the laser in any direction that we want. So what we do is jump over here and aim it right towards the target right there, and that will open up, that will activate this stairway for us to walk up towards the door. But the door is still closed. We need to activate the switch by shooting a portal right underneath the cube, and right next to us, it'll pop right next to us, and then we sit it down on top of the switch, and we're good to go. And this is my favorite quote in the game, by the way.
Here come the test results. You are a horrible person. That's what it says. A horrible person. We weren't even testing for that.
Now on to the third challenge, which is yet again another one revolving around lasers. There are 2 lasers in this one, and there are also 2 targets to shoot the lasers into. If we activate both those targets, we will open the door and be done with the challenge. So the first thing we want to do is shoot a portal right in that area right there to jump on top of this ledge. One shot there and the second shot anywhere, and jump through it. And then what we're going to do is put this laser and redirect pick up this cube and redirect the laser into the target. So shoot another one above the middle platform, drop down on top of it, try not to get burned, and then redirect the laser into that target, and that's the first one. The next thing we want to do is use a portal to redirect the second laser into the second target. To do that, we want to aim a portal into the wall and jump it back into the same left-hand platform that we were in earlier. Then shoot a portal right to where the laser is pointing, and then a second shot, without getting burned again, a second shot right where that red dot is on the floor, right, see it's going to be pointing up there, right or right down on the floor to land the laser into that little target, as you can see. And that will be the end of this challenge. That was the third challenge. The fourth one is pretty much the same old, same old. We're going to keep on using lasers for the majority of this challenge. This one's pretty complicated at first. It takes a little bit of precision. What we want to do is shoot a laser, shoot a portal right where the tip of this laser is, right here. Shoot the second shot in that middle area right there, and that should activate the platform, which will slide across like so. And then what we want to do is stop the platform by moving, by shooting a portal right there. We don't want the platform to go too far, otherwise you'll see what we have to do. We'll pick up the cube that we pressed the button after we went through the portal to get over to the side, jump on top of the platform, and now we want to go to the far corner of it and try to make the laser shoot that target the same way that it did before. This isn't an easy shot because it's off to the side a little bit here. As you can see, with my first shot, missed it by a little bit, so what I did was try to get even closer and closer to the edge. And this is why we want to make sure that the platform is far back as possible so that we can get this shot easily. It'll take a couple tries. Maybe you might have to move the platform again, but hopefully you'll be able to get it on your first try. And then we'll be able to move across, pick up this cube here, jump on top of the final platform, put it on top of the switch, and that will be the end of this challenge. The next challenge is the fifth challenge. This one is the first one that is going to use the launch pads, which is pretty fun. What we do is you just land on top of this thing and it will launch you all the way across to the other side, like this. And then we want to hit the switch right here, which will activate a cube that will start bouncing up and down never-endingly, if that makes any sense. Press the button. I'm looking around for where the cube is, and as you can see, it bounces up and down. And now we have to try to time the launch to pick up the cube. It might take you a couple tries. It took me, I think, 3 until I got it. What you want to do is launch up and then press X right as you're next to the cube. And as you can see on my last shot, this is when I learned how to time it correctly. What you want to do is, as the cube is hitting the spring on the bottom, right as it's hitting the spring on the bottom, that's when you want to jump to. And you'll hopefully land up at the same spot on the top so you can pick it up, launch back over, simply put the cube on top of the switch, and that is the end of this challenge. The next one will also be a launch one. This is a really, really cool one coming up in a second. This is the 6th challenge. This one's really, really fun, a little bit challenging. It might take you a couple tries. What you do is jump on top of this launch pad, and it'll continually shoot you all the way across. But what you have to do is shoot a portal on those 2 white platforms. One on the left side, one on the right side before you land on it. A little bit difficult, but if you get it right, you'll continue launching, hit the second launch pad, and then land on top of here. And then next, what you want to do is hit this switch here. Once we hit the switch, a lot of trash as well as a cube will be falling out of the sky. So what we want to do is avoid the trash as it comes hurling towards our face. Not entirely sure what happens if you get hit by the trash, but I guess you probably shouldn't get hit by it. So avoid the trash, and at the end of all the little pieces of trash and debris that flies by will be the cube. I tried to catch the sphere here for the fun of it, but failed. So you stand in front of the cube once it comes here. I don't think it'll hurt you or anything. Just press X as it lands right next to you. Then shoot that little area up there with the portal, as well as this little area, this little square right here. Then pick up the cube. Don't fall through the portal. Just drop the cube through it. If you fall through, I think you'll get stuck. So just drop it all the way through. And hopefully it'll land right on top of that switch. And that'll be the end of that one. The next challenge is pretty funny. It starts off with GLaDOS destroying your cube. So once you have a third cube, because she actually destroys the second one too, just land it right on top, drop it right on top of that laser so it can stop it. And then once you get across it, shoot a portal underneath of the cube so you can get it off the laser. And then the platform will shoot all the way back up to the top of this area, where we will be using some of these launching, you will be using the portal to use gravity and launch us all the way up on top of these platforms. So we shoot one right there on the right hand side, and then drop down through the portal. Should launch us all the way across. As you can see, we actually need the switch here first with the cube. So what we want to do is, any way you want to, get the cube up here, or you can drop down and go pick up the cube and then walk through the portal. It doesn't really matter. But then pick up the cube and then drop through the portal again, and this time we'll be able to launch through and then land up on top of the switch and drop the box on top of the switch. That opens a little platform right there. And then lastly, we want to shoot a portal onto the left-hand side over there and then drop down again. I actually failed the first time. I dropped all the way down by accident. So what you want to do is shoot a portal fairly close to you so that you don't miss it like I did on my first try. And then drop through that one. And if you also shot that platform on the left, you should launch all the way over and walk right through the door, which is already open for you.
This next test involves
The final challenge, the 8th challenge of this chapter, is a little bit difficult at first. Every time you walk through that blue screen over there, it resets your portal, so your portal gun, so you can't have a portal on one side or the other. So what we want to do instead is hit this switch here. It will drop a cube. I'm looking around for where the cube is going to land. It drops right there. It's a redirectional cube. So what we want to do is shoot through that little gap, through that tiny little hole, and shoot a portal through over there, and then shoot another one on this side, and then walk through the portal with the redirectional cube, and then aim the laser with the redirectional cube at that little target through the blue screen, just like that. If I can aim right, I have horrific aim. And then that's pretty much it. Then we just walk through this blue screen again, and that is the end of the challenge and the end of the chapter. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope it helped you. Chapter 3 is on the way. Please go to GameGuideCentral.com for more Portal 2 guides, as well as many, many other guides of games yet to come and games that have already been released. So check it out. We'd really, really appreciate it. This has been Bamblakopz. Thanks a lot.